Kroz zlatnu svjetlost stigao si da nas budiš, ti bezvremeni. Kroz plava polja bez kraja još jednom sudbina do nas te dovela. O kako divno je kraj tebe biti, kako divno je gledat svoj san, a ti si taj naš ostvaren san. Neka divica, a danas braco ti, danas ti, samo ti, o bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, bezvremeni, bezvremeni. Ti mirom bojiš, polako nas učiš, ti vraćaš nam vid, o kako dugo lutali smo, tražili te, zaboravljeni. O kako divno je kraj tebe biti, kako divno je gledat svoj san, a ti si taj naš ostvaren san. Neka divica, a danas braco ti, danas ti, samo ti, o bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, o da nas budiš, bezvremeni. Neka divica, a danas braco ti, danas ti, samo ti, o bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, da nas budiš, bezvremeni. Neka divica, a danas braco ti, danas ti, samo ti, o bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, o da nas budiš, bezvremeni. Da nas budiš, a da nas vodiš, samo ti, bezvremeni. O kako je dobro kraj tebe biti, a kako je dobro kraj tebe biti. Ti vraćaš nam izgubljen raj i učiš nas svemu što znaš, samo ti, bezvremeni.
Kad radiš jednu pjesmu, onda When a songwriter creates a song, there are two ways this can be achieved. There is a professional way which produces songs that are never completely sincere because they have no real cause. These songs can become popular, but they never touch the hearts of the audience. They lack a direct connection between the audience and the singer. Real songs always have a true cause.
Prave pjesme uvijek imaju neki realan povod. Jedna energija, znači pozitiva, jedna energija
Positive energy, the energy of strong spirituality.
jake duhovnosti i
A very strong reason for writing this song is Bratzo's immense love for life and all that surrounds him, which inspired me to write this melody.
svega onoga što ga okružuje, koja je mene inspirirala zapravo da napravim tu melodiju.
While the night was still reigning in silence, concealing the streets with darkness around number 1 Srebrnjak, the air was filled with a special thrill, a special atmosphere, so that even those who knew nothing about what was about to happen felt something special was about to be revealed that day. The night was gradually turning into day. Drop by drop, forming a mighty river, the streets started to fill with people carrying flowers in their hands. Soon those individuals formed larger groups, till they finally formed a crowd, or rather a river, of cheerful and happy people. These people completely filled the front yard of the house at number 1 Srebrnjak and the streets around it. Naturally, all these people who had come from all over Europe were extremely happy, because the day had arrived when they would see the man they love, the man who holds a special place in their lives. They are about to see Bratzo. Bratzo is the man who loves them even more, the man who through his love, hard work, renunciations and powers given to him, restored hope, love, health and faith to their lives. Bratzo enabled them to go on living in the full sense of the word.
I have a 26-year-old daughter. She was hardly able to memorize things and had a speech disability because of cerebral palsy. Now her memory and speech ability have improved. Here she is. 2 years ago, she told me for the first time that she recognized me as her mother and that she recognized her sister, something she was not able to do before.
Doctors told me that I had liver and intestinal cancer. The first time I met Bratzo, I instantly felt something very different from anything I'd felt before. The pain was gone. Soon afterwards, I did some tests which showed nothing, absolutely nothing. The doctors were shocked.
I came here before my surgery. Brazzo told me that everything would be fine and that I should have the surgery and come to visit him afterwards. Thank God our days are full of happiness. I am full of life, happiness, and content. I come from Split. Even before we reached Šibenik, I was looking forward to my next visit.
Despite a long journey, their faces showed no fatigue or restlessness. Happiness and joy was all they felt, for they were about to see Brazzo. Wish him a happy birthday and thank him for everything he has done for them. I was very ill. Problems with my kidneys. I passed through 2 surgeries. I had urethral stricture, and the doctors were not helping. Brazzo is helping. I was supposed to undergo therapy for the rest of my days, but I have not done that for over a year.
I suffer from asthma, shortage of breath, diabetes, and I have family problems. Thank God everything is fine now. Precisely a month ago, my nephew had a car accident. The doctors have given up on him. Thanks to Brazzo, he is still alive. I can name the doctor, Dr. Kresnik, who said it was a miracle. Medical science did not give him any good chances of surviving. They did nothing for him. Thanks to Brazzo, he is alive, and so am I, alive, happy, and healthy.
30% of my heart muscle was dead tissue, so it was very questionable whether or not I would survive, let alone walk. Thank God I am here today.
I came here as a diagnosed epileptic. I was losing consciousness very often. I have had this problem since childhood. The more I come here, the fewer problems I have. I used to lose consciousness once or twice a week, and now it happens maybe once in 3 months. My tests are also much better.
A lot of people are seeking healers, looking for help. It is a fact we cannot ignore. Those people come and go over the years, and their number is increasing. This indicates that the methods healers use are proving to be successful. This is also a fact. How can those people be cured? They all believe that some kind of force is at work here, or some kind of energy transfer. It is absolutely irrelevant whether they consider it to be a divine energy or the sun's energy, or maybe even the teachings of invisible masters, avatars. Discussing this is needless. The point is that a phenomenon is present and that help exists.
My mother was here first because she was very sick. Brazzo helped her a lot, and he helped me with my nightmares. My daughter got sick. She literally lost her appetite overnight and started to lose weight rapidly. She weighed 94 pounds. Doctors were unable to help her. Her health was deteriorating. Everything changed once I started coming here, thank God. Being afraid was my major problem. Everything used to frighten me. I felt fear no matter what I did. Brazzo made me brave. He also improved my love life and helped my father. He was not able to stand on his feet for 3 weeks back in June. In fact, he was not able to walk at all. I brought his photograph to Brazzo. He took it and told me he would do everything in his power to help. I returned home and saw my father standing on his 2 feet. I have been coming here for a year. Brazzo restored my peace of mind. I had huge problems. I was very restless, but now I am at peace.
Since the war ended, I suffered from Vietnam syndrome. Thank God everything is fine now. The healer's ability lies in the fact that the patient wants to be healed. He or she wants to get better, and eventually he or she will get better. Question is how that trust is created.
Jer sigurno je kada se uspoređuje velika masa ljudi ispred ne znam kako bi to nazvali.
One thing is obvious, the number of people waiting in front of Bratzo's, how should I call it, clinic, a place for healing where his teacher Ivica worked before him, is much larger than the number of people waiting in hospitals and medical clinics, which indicates that those people are the phenomenon, not Bratzo. Bratzo certainly created the trust they have in him. Psychologists can only wish for that kind of trust from their patients, because only then would they be able to really help.
Stvoriti to uvjerenje u našu terapiju kod bolesnika, onda mi sigurno pomogli isto kao Bratzo. Jer o čemu pričamo? Ne pričamo.
Here we're not talking about charlatanism, we are talking about a scientifically proven method, the power of suggestion, hypnosis, or the placebo phenomenon, whatever you want to call it. So let's see what we can learn from Bratzo. How he creates this kind of trust that allows people to accept the things he tells them. He simply believes in his therapy. Maybe that is the problem, the fact that we psychologists or physicians do not really believe that we can help like Bratzo helps. We doubt ourselves and our therapy. Unfortunately, we often show our patients our lack of trust. Surgery or other such medical treatments which influence human health are immediately successful. But when it comes to these matters, it is really important that the patients believe we can help them. So he or she can, through their faith, help themselves psychosomatically. This is something that physicians and other kinds of therapists are missing because they, as scientists, show doubt. Bratzo, on the other hand, believes he helps people. I had major psychological issues. The first time I came here, I felt some kind of energy running through me, and thank God, everything started to get better. I had problems standing on my feet because I felt enormous pain in one of my heels. I was actually limping, barely walking. And then I came here, and things started to improve rapidly. I used to be very sick. The problem was in my knees. I had several surgeries, but none of them helped. Ever since I started coming here about 2.5 years ago, my condition has improved, thank God.
I came here some 3 years ago. I had digestion problems, but I got help the same day.
Is the faith of those people who came to wish Bratzo a happy birthday and thank him for everything he does for each of them. They believe in him because they know how much he has done for them and still does in their times of trouble and temptation that we all encounter during our lifetime. Bratzo moves and inspires their faith in final triumph over sickness and hardship through his gazing during their brief encounters. Bratzo, in ways known only to him, initiates the processes of miracle healings that modern medicine often cannot explain, but accepts and recognizes.
I had a brain tumor. After my first visit to Brazzo, I had some tests done. They all came back negative. The tumor had disappeared.
My little daughter had a mild form of epilepsy that is supposedly curable at an early age. Some cysts were pressuring the balance center in her brain, so she had difficulties standing on her own. Someone had to assist her at all times. One of my friends told me about Brazzo. Thanks to him, my child is walking on her own, riding a bicycle, climbing fences, talking, singing. She even learned a song in English. It is November now, and she has not had a seizure since March.
I had health problems ever since I was a young girl, mostly with menstrual cycles, which were very painful. These problems have disappeared. I also had severe headaches. Many different issues, especially with my family, disputes, disagreements. All of that is gone now.
My baby boy was born prematurely. His weight was just a little above a pound at the time of birth. A friend of mine then told me that Brazzo is very good at healing. When I first came to see him, I was carrying his picture because my baby son was in hospital, in an incubator. I wondered what Brazzo was going to tell me when I first saw him, but he just smiled and told me everything would be all right. I'm very happy to say that everything is all right now. I had learning difficulties back in high school. I even had to repeat some exams, but ultimately I graduated among the best in my class. I also had kidney problems, but no one could tell me what was exactly wrong with me. I came here, and when Brazzo placed his hands on me, I immediately felt an overwhelming energy flowing through me. While the first guests were taking their positions at number 1 Srebreniak and joyfully greeting their acquaintances, the bitter coldness common for this time of year did not present significant problems. It seemed those people did not travel hundreds of miles just to be here and rejoice. From their conversations, it was clear that many of them arrived the night before, so they could be among the first to wish Brazzo a happy birthday. The clock had not yet struck 4 a.m. and the traffic was already heavy. The buses from every corner of Europe and cars with registration plates from Macedonia to Northern Europe kept coming. Pure hearts do not know obstacles or doubt. When something is desired so deeply, all doors open and the impossible becomes possible. The scenes from the center of Zagreb speak for themselves. They came from Split, Rijeka, Austria. Those from Switzerland, Slovenia, Germany, Bosnia and Serbia were supposed to arrive any minute. Frankly speaking, it seemed impossible for this many buses, cars and people to occupy this relatively small area all at the same time. To arrive on the hour in such harmony and everything to run so smoothly. From a materialistic point of view, all this appears to lack sanity. But if one takes a slightly different point of view, a more realistic one, all this appears to be pure love, pure thoughts which create this perfect environment and harmony. From the early morning, traffic police officers were at the scene to make sure things ran smoothly. But even without their presence, the traffic would still run perfectly. The pureness in the hearts of these people and the energy of love that surrounded them was their guiding light from the moment they left their homes. That is the most important fact. That is what protects this place and the people in it. Time went by, hours passed, and the buses kept arriving. Arriving passengers with smiling faces and flowers in their hands will eventually return home with fresh flowers and even happier faces. Brazzo supplied them with faith and strength just by gazing at them. It is impossible not to notice the number of people that are coming to see Bratzo. This certainly indicates that no matter how much we would like to dispute his abilities, it is not possible for us to ignore the significant number of people seeking his help. I believe that in Bratzo's special gift we have a divine influence which blessed him with a special ability and placed him in this time and space with a very special purpose for reasons known only to our Maker, and with a purpose to show us different forms of existence and levels of conscience.
Druge oblike postojanja I razine života osim ovog materijalnog kojeg mi imamo.
I would like to make some changes in my life, get my family, health and business back. Some general things we all miss these days.
Everyone I knew thought I was mentally dysfunctional and I could not trust anyone. I learned about Bratzo and he helped me deal with those issues. I feel fine now. Later on, I had an intestinal disorder which caused obstipation and high fever. I waited for a month before I went to the hospital. At the time, I came to see Bratzo twice. I felt better immediately. Some problems remained, pain in my tummy, and after 5 treatments, I was cured.
The explanation of the Bratzo phenomenon may lie in the roots of medical science, in some ancient teachings that were not related to chemical processes and this material body, which is the only visible thing. Those teachings allowed the existence of life forces, which various cultures named differently. We have the Chinese talking about the Qi energy, Indians about prana, and later some explorers mentioned orgon or entelechi. They all speak about the existence of the life force outside the material body. That life force is present everywhere. It is life itself. It exceeds this material existence.
Ona nadilazi ovo materijalno postojanje. Ljudi poput Brace imaju posebnu...
People like Bratzo have a special ability to collect, channel and direct that ever-present life force to people who need it.
Sveprisutnu životnu silu prema ljudima kojima je ona potrebna.
I had many problems, mostly with my heart. Because of asthma, I had difficulty breathing, but I'm much better now that I'm seeing Bratzo.
For a while, my business was going very badly and I could not figure out why. But since I started visiting Bratzo, everything improved a lot. Well, I had many problems, but Bratzo managed to solve the biggest one. I was an alcoholic. I don't really know how it ended, but my wife one day told me, "My dear husband, you are not drinking anymore." I don't know what to say. The alcohol just disappeared from our lives. It would be very wrong to say that people like Bratzo are very rare. I believe that every person on earth possesses this ability. Some are able to discover it and others are not. Bratzo told me how he discovered his ability with help from his teacher. I believe he discovered his ability spontaneously. He probably just felt it. When it comes to my religion, Islam, I must say that is exactly how these things happen. A person simply discovers he or she possesses the ability to help others. The Quran teaches that God has created people with equal abilities. We all possess them, but we have to discover them within ourselves. That is why we educate ourselves to discover our potentials and abilities as a part of this mundane world. In the spiritual world, those abilities are simply there. We detect them within us when the time comes, Possibly we refuse to practice them because of our prejudices, but we certainly feel them. You have to consider the fact that spiritual powers are a great burden to those who have them, especially because of all the people who ask for that help.
Duhovne moći je zapravo su jedno veliko opterećenje. Ono opterećenje u smislu onih koji traže od nas pomoć.
A person often cannot endure the mental pressure involved. This is exactly what amazes me in Brazzo, his ability to be so calm and spontaneous in spite of the great number of people who come to him and ask, or rather pressure him, into helping them.
A machine caught my husband's hand. First, we went to a hospital, and then we came to Brazzo. The moment he saw my husband, he told me about the pain in his hand and that he would ease the pain. He really did. A train hit our son. They had to implant metal bars in his leg. We survived. You can imagine our shock when the police came to our doorstep to tell us the train had hit our son. I have a 27-year-old son. He had eye surgery. The doctors told us he would not be able to see after the surgery. I went to see Brazzo, and he told me my son should have the surgery and that he would make sure his sight got better after the surgery. When we went to the hospital, the test showed that 87% of his sight had been restored. Thank you, Brazzo.
7 when I had an accident. A bus hit me. At the age of 15, the consequences began to reveal themselves. I had one foot bigger than the other, and I could not sit in school for more than half an hour because of the pain in my spine. It does not hurt anymore, only if I try to lift something very heavy, but that is nothing compared to how it was. I used to be very restless. I am much calmer today. Brazzo also helped me to concentrate on my studies. The left side of my body was paralyzed first time I came here. Afterwards, when I was driving home from Brazzo's place, I suddenly made a left turn with my body. The pain was gone.
I had many problems, mainly with my health. I had cancer, I was treated and operated on. Brazzo helped me get better. The tests are all negative now.
It is amazing how people are capable of love. And I have to admit that I am a bit jealous as an artist because of the fact that I have to take a more aggressive approach if I want to gain affection. People love Brazzo without him having to take that aggressive approach. His kind nature and calmness, his amazing positive energy is exactly what impressed me the most. This is very rare in this modern world, which lacks compassion and understanding for fellow men. In Brazzo's case, these missing elements are very obvious. He is filled with so much humanity. The initial skepticism towards him is a product of today's society. In the beginning, people take a negative approach. Brazzo provides positive energy, which is something very noble. Anyone with ability to help others is more than welcome in today's world. Maybe Brazzo opens those channels, or people open them themselves through him and accept the influence of such a force. My wife had psychological issues. She used to take many different medications. I was suffering from suffocations, and my legs used to hurt so much I could barely walk. All this is cured now, thanks to Brazzo.
My mother-in-law was seeing Bratzo because of a spinal disorder, and so I started coming. I had an allergy that is completely cured now. My husband was also sick, but he is fine now. I had a heart condition that required surgery. I felt awful and I had difficulty walking and breathing normally. I cannot explain in what condition I was. Thank God, Bratzo and Ivica, I am now healthy. I came here with huge issues. My marriage fell apart, and I could not face the fact that my son would be growing up without a father. I was literally beaten down. Bratzo saved me. I am a different person now. That was 10 years ago. Today, I am really a different person.
Bratzo kanalizira
Bratzo channels, directs, and opens certain roads.
neke puteve.
My problem was a lack of harmony in my life. We were quarreling all the time. We even had alcohol problems. Every problem a human being can imagine. But it all ended, and our lives have improved very much. It is 100% better now. He saved my daughter's marriage and my mother's life. She had a lung embolism. Doctors gave her 6 to 12 hours at the most. Bratzo, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I did not come here because of some serious problem, but I was having bad feelings and always looked at life in a negative way. I have been coming here for a year now and I feel great.
My son got divorced and I took it badly. Bratzo helped me deal with it.
Kroz zlatnu svjetlost stigao si, da nas budiš ti bezvremeni. Kroz plava polja bez kraja, još jednom sudbina do nas te dovela. O kako divno je kraj tebe biti, kako divno je gledat svoj san, a ti si taj naš ostvaren san. Nekad Ivica, a danas Bratzo ti, danas ti, samo ti. O bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, bezvremeni, bezvremeni.
Moram reći da čak na jedan indirektan način
I have to say that I have felt Bratzo's help in an indirect way.
ja se Bratzi nisam obratio za pomoć, ja sam imao priliku da ga
I did not
upoznam.
ask for his help.
Da sam bio
I just had an opportunity to meet him when I was feeling pretty bad because of things that were going on in my life.
dana onako u jednom poludepresivnom raspoloženju. Tako sam ja u tim trenucima nekakvim svog zaista jednog onako...
I came to Bratzo feeling seriously depressed after a very bad period in my life, but spending time with Bratzo filled me with the strong energy that surrounds him.
I evo, i kažem, i na jedan indirektan način sam se i ja...
I felt better and I started believing in this phenomenon.
I mogu reći da sam počeo vjerovati.
People who come to him have very strong reasons for being there, and they surely feel better after seeing him and after he has eased their problems.
Osjećaju bolje u nekakvim svojim problemima zbog kojih su došli.
Danas ti, samo ti, o bezvremeni da nas budiš, da nas vodiš, o da nas budiš, bezvremeni. Nekad Ivica, vodiš, da nas budiš, bezvremeni. Neka divica, ti nas vodiš, a danas braco ti nas budiš, danas ti nas vodiš, samo ti.
Other important things were happening that day, but there was no doubt that thankful people would be there for Braco's birthday. With daybreak, more people arrived. One could hear different languages from all corners of Europe. They all waited patiently in groups to see Braco and to wish him a happy birthday. That day, number 1 Srebreniak was probably the happiest place in the world. There aren't many places where so many people gather with such a positive energy and love for just one man.
Many of you are here today not because of yourselves. You have left your troubles, worries, and sicknesses behind. You came here today with one common purpose, to be with Braco on his birthday, to wish him all the best, and to show him your love and gratitude for everything he does for you so selflessly. His thoughts are with you, how to make you feel better. You're aware of that. Some of you more than others, and you are here today because you love him and he loves you. Braco's love is different and unique. It is the kind of love we do not know, but we have Braco to teach us and show us that love. Someday we will be capable of loving others the way Braco loves us. I believe Braco is in your hearts today more than ever. To many of you, Braco restored hope, and there was no hope to look for, restored health when no one else could. As you listen to me, I am sure you are wondering why I am speaking to you instead of Braco. You wonder if you will see him at all. You will. Do not worry. He will be with you in a moment now. But before you see him, I have something to tell you. I believe some of you will be disappointed with what I'm about to say. Don't be. I have to tell you that Braco will not speak today. Everything that exists and lives on planet Earth changes, progresses, and evolves. It is a natural process, and we cannot stop it. Nothing in this world is constant and absolute. Only God and love are. Our Braco is also changing, growing stronger and evolving. All his strength grows, so does his spirit. As he grows stronger in spirit, the less you will need to see and hear from him. His soul is so delicate and his thoughts are so pure. That which you receive from Braco exceeds the material world. It is greater than bare words. Therefore, do not be sad because he will not speak to you today. Be happy that you can greet him in this way. Braco is here now, and you will be able to see him and greet him.
You have greeted Braco and wished him a happy birthday. Do not be sad that he did not speak to you. Be proud and happy because his eyes that looked at you all gave you something that means more than any words he could have spoken. His power exceeds words, something impossible to describe. It exists among you. Bratzo is happy that you are here today and he loves you. His love is so pure that it is difficult for us to comprehend. I would like to thank you for coming today, to be with us, with Bratzo. He wants you to return home happy and smiling. May the things he gave you through his gaze keep you safe. Bratzo did not miss the opportunity to welcome his guests in a proper fashion for a birthday celebration. He greeted everyone and invited them to a food table prepared for them and a birthday cake. They all said they would return next year to wish him a happy birthday. A creek turns into a mighty river, a bud into a beautiful flower. It takes a single ray of light to forever break the darkest night. The moment Bratzo thinks of you is like that ray of light. At the beginning, Bratzo used to heal by touch. As he evolved, he began to heal just by talking to people. Bratzo has evolved so much that even his recorded voice or a single gaze helps people or their loved ones whose photographs they brought. Through his thoughts and gaze, Bratzo is able to help people even more. All it takes is a moment in time for Bratzo to set a person on his or her path of happiness and fulfillment of their dreams. When Bratzo stepped before the people who were impatiently waiting for him, a feeling of great unspeakable happiness overwhelmed them. They were all very grateful for everything Bratzo had provided them with. They all wanted to touch and feel him. They had so much to tell him. That brief moment of love and warmth when they smiled at him will remain in their memories forever. They received everything Bratzo is able to give them, everything he carries inside, everything they dream of. When you talk to him, you realize he is a very dear person, almost naive. He rejected all outside institutional powers. Something inside him is so radiant, and that what he possesses inside himself is the essence of his being. I had an opportunity to attend one of his sessions. The spontaneity in the way he approaches people and the way people approach him is fascinating. His simplicity is capturing. He acts as if he does not know where his power is coming from or for what purpose it is there.
I had a coronary thrombosis and a lung embolism 4 times, neuroses, spinal problems, and family issues. It's all much better now. I first came to see Braco 2 years ago looking for help from my father. He is my only family. He was scheduled to start renal dialysis because medical tests showed he had been born with only 1 kidney and it was no longer capable of functioning normally. I heard about Mr. Braco and came to see him. Thank God my father is living his life normally without the dialysis and without further complications. On the other hand, I had a spinal surgery when I was 20. The surgeons removed 3 of my spinal columns. The pain was unbearable. I came to see Braco and I am now able to work without any problems. I was very sick. There was something wrong with my spine. I suffered pain all over the right side of my body. Doctors could not figure out what was wrong with me, but from the moment I came to see Braco, everything got better. My son was having problems because he associated himself with the wrong people. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Braco for helping my son and setting him free from bad company. I am very happy now.
Ono što je nedostatak u mom promatranju njegovih aktivnosti.
What I am missing in my observations of Braco's activities is the feedback from his patients. But considering the way they treat him and the way he treats them, it seems their relationship is one of sincere and spontaneous friendship, without hierarchy or their inferiority.
Stajalište od strane njega prema njima ili da oni polaze od nekakvog sluganstva prema njemu.
However, people who are involved in some form of social activity can be envious of the number of people who come to see him, looking for help. This certainly indicates just how valuable he is, considering that he is very young and highly educated. It is very likely that he will continue to evolve. His high moral standards and commitment to his work is what fascinates me the most. No doubt the apprentice has become as good as his master, because he possesses abilities which all men possess, but are not aware of. It is very likely that he will continue to evolve and discover all of his abilities.
On je samo medij kroz koji Bog sila, nazovite to kako
He is just a media through which God or some force, however you may call this, is reaching all of us because we are God's creation. The words are understandable, the image is familiar, the symbols are clear but irrelevant. That is the secret of his success.
njegovog uspjeha.
I first came here only a week ago and I'm delighted to be here again today. I had some family issues. I got divorced 7 years ago and I had problems with my health, mostly typical female problems, but only a week after seeing Braco, I felt a lot better and even some family issues started resolving. I'm thrilled and very happy. I suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, but I feel much better now. It is not perfect yet, but considering I could barely walk on my own, and now I feel I could walk from Rijeka to Zagreb. I had problems with my eyes and my husband had spinal problems. He was unable to move, but Braco helped him. He helped us with all our problems. Our child was sick, but Braco healed him. He always helps us, whether though his presence or through his videos we watch. I had problems with one of my toes, but my problem is solved. I also had problems in school, but since I found out about Ivica and Braco, everything has improved. I came here today just to thank him. I was hospitalized in April. Every beginning of April, I used to get sick and no one knew what was wrong with me. I had terrible pains in my stomach and head. I was very weak and fainted often. I came to Bratzo, and ever since, I am healthy. Can you tell us your opinion about what you have seen from a journalist's point of view? Someone called us to let us know what was going on here, so we came to make a report. I am very surprised by the number of people here. This is an indication that something positive must be going on.
I'm also very surprised by the mass of people here. I came here on assignment. If people come here from all over just to see Bratzo and to thank him, he must have really helped them. Bratzo told me about his dilemma, whether he should go abroad or stay. He keeps thinking about a certain place, somewhere in the desert, that he is supposed to visit in order to recover his energy and fulfill his true mission. Every religion is based on those spiritual inspirations. They are not based on material objects, technology or techniques. The opposite is true. Every religion believes in that calling. To Christians, Jesus is God. To Muslims, he is merely a man, a very profound and inspired man. A child born without a father, capable of performing miracles, filled with spiritual abilities that made him a remarkable man. Muhammad, too. They were quiet children, unnoticeable children, till a certain moment in their lives when they shined in all of their glory. I am not saying the same thing is happening to Bratzo, but the pattern is there. Beliefs in spiritual inspiration are the foundations of every religion, and without them, they cannot exist.
I first came here because of my sister. She had breast cancer and had to be operated on. I was out of my mind, and then a friend told me about Bratzo. I came here and things got better. My sister is living a completely normal life. However, my coming here means much more. I finally found myself. I discovered myself, my inner peace, some kind of harmony with myself and other people. I think I found God's love here. I believe God sent Ivica and Bratzo so he could be closer, to make us feel his love and kindness. My whole life I attended catechism classes on Sundays in my church, but never felt the presence of God like I feel here.
I consider myself a very spiritual, religious person. Even though I had no previous education in religion, I found out through my readings later on that what I carry inside me and what I consider righteous are values which the Bible teaches. I feel it even though no one had influenced me. I have read some of Bratzo's books and found many of those values in them. I would place Bratzo outside of any religion, but also very deeply within all of them. Simply because what he talks about represents the essence of every religion. Maybe in a more general and, in my opinion, more acceptable way. The world will be a better place once all of us unite in one religion, and I think that is exactly what Bratzo is trying to preach. Bratzo said, "I can help only those who believe I am able to help them. I cannot help those who come with doubt, nor have I ever helped them." This is a very important sentence. It says that not a person, but someone whose faith had cured him or her. Those are the words of the world's best-known healer, Jesus
Prema tome,
Christ.
što liječi?
So what exactly heals all those people? Faith, trust, hope, belief that we shall be healed.
I started to suffer from depression when I was 18. I had many serious problems. I even tried to commit suicide a few times. But 4 months after my visit, 2 years ago, I stopped taking pills. I cannot find words to describe it. My life has completely changed. I was very skeptical about coming here at first. I could not figure out how Bratzo is doing all this. I had unresolved family issues. My son was doing badly at school and had to work a lot because of our financial problems. However, I calmed down. I'm at peace now. My son got much better at school. Thank God, Ivica and Bratzo.
Mi najčešće susrećemo one kod kojih je zbilja došlo do poboljšanja.
We usually meet those who have experienced improvements, but what about those who haven't? What about those who have died? Those people do not blame Bratzo for that, nor do their relatives. Why? Because they have accepted it. You could even say they are content. We can see that it is not just healing patients, it is also about making them feel good, partially healed, and content with their situation, or simply helping them to accept their condition, even if it leads to death. Bratzo manages to do just that.
Svi smo nekako razočarani i svi smo nekako prilično negativni.
People in general are rather disappointed and negative about everything. I have seen Bratzo at his work and I believe in his positivity. His positive approach is exactly what people respond to.
Koja zrači iz njega i iz svega onoga s čim je on okružen, upravo ljudima donosi tu jednu,
It is something we miss in our everyday life.
Nečega što zapravo bi u svakodnevnom životu trebali imati.
People feel and respond to that gentleness in his presence, so they come here to fill their souls with his positivity.
Zapravo nahrane svoj duh sa jednom takvom pozitivnom energijom. I naravno, povrh svega
I suppose that above all they come because they are grateful for his help in solving many of their problems.
Njihovih problema bili riješeni.
My husband and I could not have children for 8 years. During that time, I had 5 surgeries and I lost 3 children. I found out about Bratzo and I came here to ask him if I would ever be able to give birth. He asked me how old I was and then told me I will give birth by the time I turn 37. I was 34 at the time. 12 days after I turned 36, I gave birth to my son. I was suffering from urinarysis and preventive medications did not help. Ivica and Bratzo helped me.
My back used to hurt very much. I have diabetes. The doctors were not able to help me. I took pills and they gave me injections, but nothing helped. I heard about Bratzo and now I see him instead of doctors and I am just fine. Bratzo is one of those persons, symbols, a medium through whom people must choose their own direction. Bratzo cannot do it for them. They have to do it themselves. But sometimes they need a leader. It is possible that leader is Bratzo.
The
phenomenon of grouping undoubtedly exists. It possesses what we call a group potential. It means that one person cannot perceive nor be able to do what a group can. I always take as an example a flock of birds flying south. You never see a single bird flying south on its own. Another example are the ants. Together they build beautiful habitats. A single ant could never achieve something like that. They gather in large numbers to create a new quality. The same thing applies to humans. It is not merely the sum of their abilities. People feel things more deeply collectively, and the effect of collective faith and belief is much stronger. there is less room for doubt in their collective abilities.
u to što će učiniti.
We cannot leave out the religion and God. Remember what Jesus said,
Jer sjetimo se
"Where two come together, I am amongst them." Here we have
gdje se
duality.
dvoje nađe, tu sam i ja. Dakle, ne kod jednoga, nego gdje su dvoje, a kasnije Buber od toga
Martin
napravio
Buber
fenomen
turned it into
društva.
dialogical relationships.
Jer nije bitno
Relationships
samo
are the meaning of
komuniciramo,
life.
nego kao da se
It is not
formira
only about
prostor
dialogue, but
između
also
dvoje
about
ljudi.
creating a
I u tom
space where
prostoru
people
kaže
look for
istinu, jasno
truth.
za Bubera i
For
za
Buber
religiozne
and
ljude, to je
religious
to.
scholars,
A
that
kamo
space
kad se
is
sretne
God.
više ljudi? Dakle, kao da se
Relationship
stvori
between human
jedna
beings
nova-
creates a new
jedno
environment,
novo
and it
ozračje
leaves a different
koje onda
impression to
ima
people involved.
znatno kvalitativno drugčiji utisak i drugčiji doživljaj na ljude.
Radilo se, gušilo
I was
me,
suffocating a lot and I had great pain in my bones. Dear Ivica and Bratso helped me, and God. My husband left me and I suffered from insomnia. I was nervous all the time. I considered seeing a psychiatrist, but I came here instead. In no time I started sleeping normally and I calmed down. I was constantly quarreling with my daughter. We simply could not stand each other. All of that settled. With Bratso's help, I wish to thank him.
Braco će onda imati dobar uspjeh ako on
Bratso will be very successful if he manages to film his faith, belief, and self-respect.
u tu svoju vjeru, u to povjerenje u sebe, u to samopoštovanje.
If he manages to affect and heal people through audio-visual recording,
sposoban to napraviti. I da on
he
ima
will be
pred
able to
sobom,
achieve this if he
ljude,
feels so.
jednu viziju
His
ljudi,
voice will be
da on
much more
vjeruje.
effective.
Onda će njegov glas biti mnogo učinkovitiji.
I do not wish to say suggestive. It is much more effective as opposed to written
nego da
words.
on to samo negdje pročita ili da netko drugi to pročita na papiru.
Ono što sam ja uspio sa njim razgovarati...
It is my opinion, based on conversations I had with him. This is exactly what happened. His teacher had to tell him that he was looking for him for a long time. That is how he discovered his abilities. To the sun, Ivica and Bratso. Yours is the light that shines brightest. No love is more radiant than yours. No power on earth is greater than yours. No sacrifice greater than yours. No river flows faster than yours. No shepherd tends his flock with more devotion. No field produces more crops than yours. I am aware of this, and I am waiting for your return. You are my light, my newly discovered life, my path to eternity.
Under the influence of their mutual gravity, it's the child of the universe.
Ever since I can remember, I had problems with my urinary tract and insomnia. He helped me calm down and helped my family do the same. He also helped my cousins in Switzerland. We are all very happy and healthy when we come to see him, and we would like to thank him for that. I used to take very strong medications. Now I have reduced this a lot. I have been coming here for 4 months now. I had Parkinson's syndrome. After my first visit to Bratso on March 1st, my condition has improved rapidly. Till now, I saw him 28 times, and my health is getting better every time I see him. Thank God and Bratso. My job, my children are the reason I keep coming. My son got employed after my second visit to Bratso. He simply gives us strength.
Evidence shows that Bratso does not define his help through religion. He defines it through some kind of spiritual strength, through his power, and that is absolutely normal. Religion bases such values on God's postulates. Neither he nor anyone else who is involved in such practices has to prove their powers through religious beliefs.
Oni niti moraju dokazivati, niti trebaju dokazivati svoju moć na temelju religijskih saznanja. Međutim, religija...
However, only religion recognizes alternative methods. People with different religious beliefs come to him all sharing the same problems that they are unable to solve any other way. They have certainly tried and failed. Eventually they came to him. We should not argue or dispute the abilities of people like him. Such occurrences are evident and well known. Even science, always in demand of physical evidence, recognizes the existence of such phenomena. Religion, on the other hand, is familiar with them and recognizes them to prove God's presence. You will probably ask me if I would recommend seeing Bratzo to my believers, or if I think that would be sacrilegious. Everyone is free to seek out his or her own salvation. You could say that God encourages people to look for help. Considering that Islam allows this kind of help, why would I judge it? We all go where we hope and expect to get help.
Alkohol i šećer.
I was an alcoholic and I had diabetes. For 8 or 9 years I used to receive 2 different kinds of medication for diabetes. 2 years now I have no need for medications, sometimes a pill or 2. Alcohol was also a huge issue. I had even been to therapy, which I attended with difficulty before I came here. I stopped drinking.
I
was very sick till last year. I had cancer, a huge tumor. I was full of fluid and all swollen. They found cancer on my right ovary. I lost all my hair, and because of chemotherapy. Look at me now. My hair is growing, I'm healthy, happy, and fat, and with all my heart, I want to thank Bratzo and Ivica. I had a huge cyst in my ankles, and doctors told me I should have metal bars in my legs. Thank God I heard about Bratzo. I felt immediately better the first time I came to see Bratzo. Since 1995, I had 2 surgeries and huge mental problems. I was hospitalized twice, once for 4 months. I was forced to take a lot of medication. I had to have operations on a brain tumor and another one on my uterus. Thank God, I feel fine today. I'm still a bit ill, but it is nothing compared to how it was. I suffer from diabetes. Ever since I started seeing Bratzo, I feel a lot better. I can walk on my own. Last time I saw him, he told me my blood tests were good. I feel better, and I am happy.
The message Bratzo spreads is really one of hope. It does not have to be forced or infused to be heard. That spirituality is all around us and is ready to be received. We usually receive it in our darkest hours and crises, so it can help us and show us the light at the end of the tunnel.
Because of migraines, I used to lose consciousness. I was not doing well when I came to see him for the first time. Dinko knows how many times they had to carry me out. Because of the shock, my child developed diabetes. Thank goodness she's doing a lot better now. We hope he will be able to help us because he is our only salvation. I attempted suicide several times. I did not know where and how to look for help. Now I can laugh and sing. Braco is our whole life. I had a heart condition, spinal problems, intestinal and mental problems. Since I started coming here 2 years ago, I am doing a lot better. I do not need medication at all. I was immobilized over a month because of a spinal disorder and had to be operated on. The doctors thought it would take me a long time to recover. I started coming here and an improvement was noticeable. I don't know how or what he did, but he really helped me. Every time I see him, I feel different, better. He helped me a lot. I really believe that he is the one who is helping us. Whenever we have a problem, domestic or related to health, somehow it is resolved.
Počinje se nekako drugačije razvijati.
Sve ovisi o tomu šta mi u tim svojim
All depends on what we are asking for, what we expect from God or the being we are addressing.
Svakako da ima i oni, kao što sam rekao.
There are those who have made fortunes from other people's miseries. That is why the alternative methods are doubted and criticized so much.
Zato danas mnogi sa sumnjom prate i šta se dešava u toj.
There are even those who criticize these alternative methods and Braco himself.
Oni koji će to kritizirati. Ja se ne bi usudio kritički se osvrtati na.
I do not intend to criticize him. I prefer to let time show.
Pustiti da zapravo vrijeme kaže svoje, a ljudi koji mu dolaze po pomoć.
People who come to him are the only ones that matter. A small percentage of them do not come to be helped, but the majority are there sincerely hoping that he will help them.
Čisto je zapravo potrebi da im se pomogne.
At the age of 4, my granddaughter has not yet developed her speech ability. She had chronic asthma and she had to use an inhalator. Since I started seeing Braco, she began speaking. She's not seeing a speech therapist anymore, and there is no need for her to use the inhalator. My son gave up on his education in law. I told Braco about it, and he told me he would see what he could do. 9 years after he left college, my son resumed his education. He is in a 3rd year now. I had 6 surgeries and I was scheduled for another one. I had tumors, cysts, lung problems. I had constant difficulty breathing, hearing problems. The doctors did what they could, but Braco really helped me. After 1 or 2 visits, my pain was gone. My name is Dragana, and I come from Vienna to thank her for saving my 14-year-old daughter. She had a heart condition, and no one knew how to help her. He knew. I came here because of bladder problems. I suffered from insomnia. He calmed me down and helped me a lot. I sleep like a baby now.
Sigurno je jedna stvar, sad govorimo i o Braci, a i o...
One thing is certain, when we talk about Braco, and the same applies to managers and politicians, people will try to test him in many ways. They will test his abilities. He'll be publicly judged, crucified in public, so to speak. If he is not true, he will fall, but if he is, he will endure and grow to be even more successful. If Braco was to compromise himself like that, he would probably lose a part or probably all of his ability. His karma and energy comes from God. He gave us all some kind of ability. I write songs. Braco heals people. Many famous people ended in crises.
pali u krizu, koji su završili
Probably because they betrayed that what was given to them by God.
uprljali su svoju karmu. Ono što
They
im je
took
Boga
a
dano su
different
izdali,
path.
zapravo jer su otišli u jednom drugom smjeru, postali su ono što nisu oni i više im se nije ta moć mogla...
They became something they were not, and their abilities were no longer sustainable.
Mislim da nije čovjek
I
koji,
don't think
bi
Brazzo is that
trebao
type of
propasti,
man who would not
zapravo,
compromise himself in such a way.
mislim da ga to generalno
I
ne
believe
zanima,
he
mislim da
lives
previše
in his
živi u
own
svom
world,
svom
which
jednom
allows
svijetu,
him to stay true
što
to
je
himself.
potrebno da bi čovjek ostao dosljedan
He
sebi, tako
isolated
da se
himself from
jako
all other
izolirao
influences.
od svih ovih nekakvih vanjskih utjecaja
There is a
koji su
theory that says once something reaches its peak, it has to go down the
kad
slope.
dosegne svoj vrhunac, onda nužno mora ići i prema dole. Sad, ja nisam toliko upućen u stvari koje su direktno...
I do not know
povezane
Brazzo
sa
that
svijetom
well,
kojim
so I
upravlja
cannot
Brazzo,
argue.
tako da ne bi znao šta se tu događa u tom smislu, ali ja mislim da...
I believe it is not so in his case. I think in his case he can only continue to grow in some form or way into something more.
Na koji način? Mislim, mi generalno svi skupa učimo.
Life is a process of learning. Humanity always discovers something new. People, in some sense, always find out something new. Every day something happens, both in the spiritual and in the material world. Maybe we will learn something new from Brazzo. Maybe Brazzo will learn something new from us. Maybe he will gain new powers. Maybe he will withdraw from this world. I don't know. Brazzo knows better.
Definitivno je dobio križ.
It is not easy for him. He received the cross he has to carry, the temptations he must resist together with his friends and family.
Ako je izabran,
If he is chosen,
izdržat će.
he will endure.
Ja sam imala jako problema sa kičmom, čak i moja djeca, jedno i drugo.
I had spinal problems. Both of my children also suffered from spinal problems. I was supposed to have surgery. I am from Rijeka and I was already in Lovran to have the surgery, but I changed my mind. I thought I should try something else before the surgery. I found out about Brazzo by coincidence. I have been standing on my feet for 2 hours already and it is not hard at all. I first came here because of my son. He was involved with bad company. Brazzo made him realize that and helped him. I had my problems with my hip. It was very painful. The pain is now all gone. My right arm was almost paralyzed. My husband saw every doctor in Split to help me, but no one was able to find out what was wrong with me. I had symptoms indicating cardiac arrest. This is my 4th time here, and I feel much better. Thank God. My daughter was supposed to have a kidney surgery in Mainz, where she lives. I heard about Brazzo and came to see him to prevent her from going to the surgery. She was already packed and ready to go. She called me to ask where I was because she could not reach me the entire day. I told her where I was, and she told me to continue coming here. Her name is Marina. She never had the surgery, and she's fine now.
Mislim da se Brazzo apsolutno drži cijeli život jednog svog
I think
puta.
Brazzo follows his own path. I never saw him advertising himself and I have never seen him giving interviews.
Nisam nikad pročitao niti jedan intervju koji je Brazzo dao, znači...
This indicates that he never felt the need for instant fame or the need to impose himself on the public.
Kao osoba nego je zapravo ostao u svemu tome...
He remained true to himself, his energy, his sincerity, his need to love and help others.
Voljeti i pomagati ljudima.
Prasanna Vadana
As always, we wonder if the perfection of love, life, health, and all things we desire exists. We wonder if our dreams can come true and become a part of reality, a part of our life. There are people who make sure our dreams vanish when we wake up, who can turn the dream into life and life into a dream. We thank Ivica and Bratzo for making that dream come true.